So we have the Chiefs on bye, which is kind of thankful for everyone dealing with that situation. Just don't have to think about it for a week. Between Pacheco, McKinnon, and CEH,
right. But
Chargers
no
on
Austin
bye.
Eckler.
That's not one you're too happy with. So let's start with Gus Edwards, who was one of the big stories. Broke out for a huge game. The Ravens running the ball 1 million times against the Browns. I believe it was exactly 44 times. And Gus Edwards with the 16 carries, 2 touchdowns. He should be owned in every single league.
Yeah, he's available in 57% of Yahoo leagues, and so we're looking at running backs that are available in over 50% of leagues. Obviously, look to your league, see who's out there. You know, if a James Robinson somehow got dropped, you know, like worth picking him up. But yes, running backs that are available in at least half of the leagues on Yahoo. Gus Edwards, you know, looked the part, got more carries last week than J.K. Dobbins has ever in his entire career. As you mentioned, the 16 rushes. He also led the Ravens running backs in snaps. He had 50% of their carries. We know they want to run the ball. As you mentioned, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the Thursday night game. So we'll see if he, you know, he's coming off the ACL. Like, he had a big workload last week and now short turnaround. So we'll see if he gets as big a workload on Thursday night. But worth noting, these same Buccaneers gave up 173 rushing yards.
Not so vaunted.
Right. I mean, to the Carolina Panthers, who didn't have Chris McCaffrey. Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard just ate them up last week. Every year of his career, Gus Edwards has averaged at least 5 yards per carry and at least 700 rushing yards. Gus Edwards needs to be, a number one priority.
Yep.
And I think he's going to lead this backfield, and who knows when Dobbins gets back.
Exactly. I think he's going to be in the same range as a James Robinson going forward, that low-end RB2 type. And the Ravens are favourites in Tampa Bay on Thursday night, -1.5. So the market, BetMGM, is buying that the Bucs are a little teetering on disaster if they haven't already got there. But we can see what Gus Edwards has done his past 3 seasons. Obviously, he is a monster yards per carry guy, and with the amount of times that this Baltimore offense is going to get into the red zone, would expect that he'll be punching in some touchdowns as well. All right, let's talk about those Panthers running backs who just lit up Tampa Bay, Deonta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. The suddenly very interesting Carolina Panthers. I kind of like them at 20-1 to win that division, just because it's such a tire fire. Why not?
Right.
PJ Walker looked phenomenal.
Yeah,
the defense is good. Chuba Hubbard and Deonta Foreman apparently are an elite running back duo. Why not 20-1? They're a game back and they've got the tiebreak over Tampa and New Orleans because they beat both of them. I don't know. 20-1?
Yeah,
why not?
20-1. Yeah, throw a couple bucks down at BetMGM. Use promo code Barry when you do. Just do me a favor there. Ask to see the big giant apple that'll be outside their corporate offices. Here's the thing on Deontay Foreman. I prefer him to Chuba Hubbard, as we said. I just always think he's got the better chance at scoring a touchdown. He had 71 yards after first contact. I mean, look, the majority of his work came on that. Majority of his rushing yards, like about half, came on that 160-yard run. But that's in his skill set. That big playability to sort of burst through the line. We saw that last year in Tennessee, filling in for Derrick Henry. Chuba got a little bit banged up. If they needed him, they could have brought him back. It doesn't seem like it's serious, but it looks like both guys are going to get enough run here, that I think both are sort of flex viable at Atlanta this week. And so, game script obviously worked in their favor. And I don't know if they blow out Atlanta the way they blew out Tampa Bay. I know that seems insane to say, but the game's in Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta will toughen up. They hang around
too. The Panthers are 4.5-point dogs. I don't even think you need to worry about the points. Just back the Panthers plus 190 on the money line.
Yeah, I like that bet. I like that bet. Yeah, look at you.
Panthers,
you and
keep
I.
pounding.
Keep pounding.
Yeah.
Keep pounding the money line.
Yeah.
Keep pounding the
Carolina Panthers.
The Carolina Panthers.
They fit right into
They're
our
your
niche.
New team.
Yeah,
they really do.
I'm a Seahawks man and the Panthers man now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Jets lost Breece Hall. Not as bullish anymore.
Right. Yeah. Jaguars no longer on them. They're 2-5.
Yeah, I'm out of the Jags. The Falcons have hurt me. With Arthur Smith, his decisions. Anyway, let's move on to Isaiah Pacheco.
Anyway, so we think both Carolina Panthers running backs have value and should be picked up. Foreman over Hubbard.
Yeah, but you should own both of them.
But yeah, both guys should be rostered as well. Hubbard played on 86% of the third downs, and so in games in which they're trailing, he's going to be more the passing down back, the PPR guy.
Yep.
You mentioned Isaiah Pacheco on a bye this week,
yes.
but Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, you've still got to pick him up.
But he was named the starter. He was named the starter, for the Week 7 game at San Francisco. Now, as we warned on Fantasy Football pregame,
yes, you're big
whatever.
On this. You're a big warnings guy.
I tried it, whatever. I mean, just saying, played 30% of the snaps. He mostly played towards the end. The fact of the matter is, though, he is getting run with one of the best offenses in the NFL. Probably should be rostered here. They're on a bye this week. They play Tennessee out of the bye. I still think it's going to be a ride the hot hand, but if something were to happen to Edwards-Helaire or Jerick McKinnon, Pacheco is somebody that they like, and here's the positive on Pacheco. He's increasing his role every week. You know what I mean? Like, they're using him more and more and more and more. And so neither you or I are particularly big CEH fans.
No.
And so, there's a chance that maybe as the season goes on and coming out of the bye, they use Pacheco more and more.
You have to pick him up because he's the starting running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, but there's like a 90% chance he's not gonna deliver what you want. But for that 10%, he has to be owned.
We are on the same page.
All right, let's move on to Tyler Algier, who plays the Carolina Panthers. Algier suddenly getting a lot of work, 44 carries the past 3 weeks, and he's in the Arthur Smith offense, so you have to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's just like, hey, Arthur, we're down 21-0. It's the first quarter. Hand it to Algier.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 64.
Yeah. Tyler Algier time.
Tyler Algier up the middle.
Yeah.
Let's do this, but whatever. As you see here on your screen, double-digit rushes each of the last 4 weeks. It's kind of a mixed bag there. 84 rushing yards, 45, 51, 50. He did get the rushing touchdown last week. Yeah, look.
It's not inspiring.
It's not inspiring. Listen, I'm trying to talk you guys into Tyler Algier.
It's okay. You don't have to.
A lot of people why does NBC pay you the big bucks? Listen, it's not my handsome good looks, right? It's because I'm willing, because not everyone's willing to go on national television and try to talk you into Tyler Algier, and I am. I'm that guy. I'm a man of the people. I'm just like,
we love Tyler Algier.
Here's what I can tell you about Tyler Algier. Look, he's averaging under 3.5 yards per carry for 3 straight. He's got 2 receptions.
The new Cam Akers.
He's got 2 receptions on the year. He's not involved in passing game, but here's what I can tell you about Tyler Algier. He qualifies at running back. And in some leagues, that's all you need. He's a live body. He's a warm body. He's somebody that qualifies at the running back position in your fantasy football league. And they're going to run. Atlanta is going to run. It does not matter what the score is. Does not matter what the game script is, what the down distance is. They're going to run. They're getting their ass kicked last week in Cincinnati. Marcus Mariota threw it 13 times. And that's probably more than Arthur Smith wanted.
Yeah.
So Tyler Algier is the lead of a committee on a run-heavy team. And again, qualifies at running back.
He's going to be 13 carries for 50 yards every single game with
and
a
30%
chance of a touchdown,
exactly.
Something like that. Okay, let's move on. Guy, not a dissimilar place, Latavius Murray, who ceded the starting role, I guess, which he briefly captured in that second half against the Chargers, back to Melvin Gordon. Didn't get the bulk of the work against the Jets. Now he goes to play the Jags in London. I think Russell Wilson's probably going to be back.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray's the guy you want?
I wonder if they still sell the Danger Witch in London. They've discontinued it here in the States.
No, they won't.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Is the Danger Witch something that they would like in Australia?
No one knows who Russell Wilson is in London.
What about in Australia? Would they like? I mean, you guys eat don't you eat Spam and
Not really.
and
no,
you also eat the what's the
possums,
possums, wallabies, kangaroos. What's there's the thing, there's a real Australian thing that you guys really like. What's
meat pies?
Meat pies.
We're big on meat pies.
What I'm thinking of. It'll come at some point.
Well, firstly,
you guys might like the Danger Witch.
I don't think we would. And also, we had some Australian viewers reach out to me. Also, It's a bad sign that it wasn't any of my Australian friends who reached out to me, because apparently none of my Australian friends watched the show. It was just random Australian viewers. They reached out to me and they said, I pronounce Renaissance correctly. That's how we say it in the Queen's English. Renaissance.
Yeah,
you can take your Renaissance with your apple and you can go play Latavius Murray in London.
Listen, when you're doing Australian rules fantasy football happy hour,
You learned that on Crocodile Dundee when you were writing that in Los Angeles?
I learned a lot. Yes, exactly right. I think I'm more of an Australian national hero than you are.
Well,
because I wrote one of the Crocodile Dundees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, Paul
You took
Hogan,
him out of our
native
country,
son.
though, and you put him in Los Angeles.
Yes, I did. But we shot some scenes in Australia in that movie.
That's true.
The movie opens in Australia, and then he goes to Los Angeles, where I don't want to ruin the movie because I'm not like you, but there's some bad guys.
Crocodile Dundee,
Dundee,
a real Renaissance man.
Oh my
Crocodile
God.
Dundee.
Anyway, let's back to
Latavius
Latavius Murray. I'll try to because they're going to want a video for social here. So let me try to. So the question is about Latavius Murray. Mike Boone was placed on the IR, so a three-headed monster now becomes a two-headed monster, and I think there's probably some value here. Who's in Latavius Murray, who I think is as good as Melvin Gordon, probably has a longer leash. Melvin Gordon has kind of this fumbling issue. Like even last week in Week 7, which Melvin Gordon quote got the start, he still played basically 40% of snaps. So it's a committee back. So we're talking flex range here, but you know sometimes. I'll put it this way. I think he's got a better chance of scoring a touchdown than Tyler Algier on a week-to-week basis.
Yes, and probably a better chance than Melvin Gordon as well.
Right, so just like he's that guy. He's in that range. He's in that Tyler Algier range. He's in that.
What a range. What a beautiful range.
That's where we're at
over
these
the
days.
mountains.
That's where we're at.
Also need to note, Mike Boone placed on IR.
Yep, I said
Marlon
that.
Mack signed. It's like an NFL GM.
Who cares?
NFL GM has a physical response to a running back. Oh, where's Marlon Mack? Let's sign him.
He's been passed around more than this Apple will be. Like, can we?
Marlon Mack's tour around
Alexa, Alexa is our executive producer. Just Alexa, could we see if we could trade? Will you contact the Denver Broncos and see if they would accept this giant apple in exchange for Marlon Mack? And we'll just have Marlon Mack back there, just like hanging out. Maybe he can make some drinks.
That would be so incredibly strange. Marlon Mack.
Just whatever. We'll put him in an Applebee's T-shirt. I'm just saying, like it seems like Marlon Mack's always available. He's always available.
All right, quickly, a couple potential drops: Elijah Mitchell and Kenyon Drake.
Sure.
Dropping them.
Yeah, I don't have any problem dropping any of them. Right by Elijah Mitchell when he comes back, sure, but he's going to be CMC insurance as well. If you're in deeper leagues, some just stash candidates, guys, you're not going to use this week. But if you're just like, hey, I'm pretty good. I feel pretty good. I'm 5-2 or whatever. I feel like I'm heading to the playoffs. Alexander Madison coming off the bye. He may have been dropped, obviously, with the Vikings. James Cook. Hey, there's a chance that Cam Akers gets dealt as well. Yep. Kyron Williams, we like a lot. He's going to have a big role with the Rams when he comes back. And how about Dearness Johnson, as Kareem Hunt has been mentioned in trade rumors? If Hunt gets moved, Dearness Johnson could have that role. Hunt's had 12 touches in 5 of 7 games this year. You're getting double-digit touches with the Browns. You have fantasy value.
Sure.
I mean, in the, Tyler Algier.
The Tyler Algier range. What a range. All right, we're going to break.
We always talk about, Tyler Algier would be a great, you always talk about we need that guy, the name of the line.
Yes.
It's
like
the Mendoza line.
Yeah.
It's the Tyler Algier line.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, when we come back, waiver wide receivers. I'm going to hunt around the set and see if Marlon Mack is looming somewhere.
He's been on like 6 teams in like a month.